So explore more of the world, engage with others, and embrace global cultures.
Fedezd fel a világot, kapcsolódjatok össze, és öleljétek át a világot.
I love it. That's perfect.
To today's Explorers. I'm your host, Charles, and today we are speaking with Dani and Mana.
How's it going?
How are you? Where are you calling in from around the world?
At the moment, we're sitting at the beach in Baja Sur on the island of Baja California.
Nice. What's the weather like? I'm assuming very sunny.
Again, yes. Yesterday it was really cold, so it dropped down pretty hard, and we had a harsh wind going. But now it's like spring feeling again, fortunately.
Well, that's good. We've enjoyed some nice weather here this past week in England. Finally feels like spring, so I'm excited for warmer temperatures. Great. Well, let's get started. Maybe you could start by telling where you're from and sort of a background of yourselves before you kind of started to get into exploration.
Sure. Say you go first.
Okay, hi, I'm Mana. I'm from Hungary, but I was living the last 12 years in Switzerland. Then we met and decided to enjoy our life together, traveling through the American continent, because that was the plan. That we are trying somehow to, from Veracruz travel to south, but then the plans changed. So that's later on.
Yeah, I'm Daniel. I'm from Switzerland originally. As Mana said, we started travel in October 22. Before that, I had a little company in Switzerland. Was working. At one point, we just felt that somehow life is too precious to just have this daily grind and go to retirement and when you're 65 or whatever, and that's just not worth it, no. And so we both decided to sell everything we have and then just start to travel and see if we can find something else.
Wow. So did you sell your company then, or just shut it down?
Yeah. Well, I sold it. It went pretty smooth. Surprisingly, it was during COVID, which was wow. Yeah, I never thought it was that easy, but it was like 6 months and the thing was gone and the key were handed over and that's it. It was kind of nice. It was almost as it had to be like this.
Yeah. I whenever I've left a job, I always enjoy that feeling after when I'm like, I don't have to think about this anymore. I'm free from this job, so that must have been a nice feeling. I guess with that background, do you have any special skills that you bring to your explorations that you find?
I was in construction business, and sometimes during our adventures that helped a little bit to to work with tools and everything, and that was helpful sometimes. Yeah, but mostly I guess it was just learning by doing the things we had to. I wasn't a mechanic at all. Now I can do basic maintenance things on the car. That was an improvement like this, but before there wasn't much around my side.
How about you, Mana?
I used to be a bike messenger, so for me being outside it's totally normal. So I mean, here in Baja Sur, it's not snowing, of course, but for me, any kind of weather condition, it's okay. It's okay. It could be worse. So for me, it's totally fine to be on the road, on the move, outside. It's just natural, I think.
That's good. So you're very adaptable to the changes.
Yeah, thank you for the word.
Yeah. That's awesome. So where have you explored so far? I know you mentioned you're in the Americas, but if you could give a rundown of where you've explored first.
Sure. We started, as Mana mentioned, we started in Veracruz. We shipped the car there, and from there we started going south. Like we went down from Mexico to Belize because we stayed on the Yucatan side. Then we went from Belize to Guatemala. We stayed there for 3 months. Because we met so many nice people there and they were so welcoming there. So they took us in, they went out with us, exploring, showing us their country. So we just used up all our visa.
Yeah, first of all, we didn't even know.
Right.
We went in the country and we were thinking all the countries, you have 3 months to visit. No, we have all together 3 months. So we were just sitting in Guatemala around 3 months and we don't have any more days left.
we have to leave again.
We have to leave, yeah.
Right. So we went back to Mexico. Side this time for 4 months, I guess. We traveled up to Mazatlan. We actually wanted to hit Baja back then in 23, but somehow we're so slow in our travels. So we made it up to Mazatlan. We found a beautiful beach. We stayed there for 4 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, and we had also the deal, the ticket to the Baja costs so much that we can live like kings.
Wow.
In the mainland, so we can have the money and just live there. And
we found the perfect place, basically, you know. Stayed there, and then like we traveled down after a month up there. We traveled down another month, so we stayed 4 months in Mexico, and then re-entered Guatemala and spent another month there, I guess, and then went to El Salvador. Stayed another month there, or even a little more actually. Then we wanted to go to Honduras, just passing through to Nicaragua. There they told us that we just have 1 day left in Nicaragua for our visa again, because we are apes and cannot count. And, so we had to drive through Nicaragua in 1 day, and yeah, that was a tough one. And then we entered Costa Rica and stayed in Costa Rica and Panama for another 6 months. No,
I think we hopped around because there was also this 3 months, but for the car could be longer. So we were just border hopping between Panama and Costa Rica, and Panama and Costa Rica, and Panama and Costa Rica.
So we went down to Panama South, like the end of the road at the Darien Gap. And there we decided, actually, we don't want to ship. There's so much more to explore in Central America. We thought, like, well, let's go up again. And then, so we started traveling up north for the next year and entered the United States 7-8 months ago. Traveled there 3 months until the winter came, and then went down to Baja in November, something like this. And now we're here since November.
Since November, well. Yeah, so I guess my question then is, you've stayed longer in different places. Have you found your rhythm for your travels? Like, you've stayed in the same place for quite a while, so I guess you're not on a time scale to have to do things quickly. You can just sit and enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's like our way to travel. No?
Yeah, get the daily routine. And if you have the daily routine, then you can move. But just arrive on the place, wow, and tomorrow back on the road, you're just seeing with your eyes. And you're not there, because I think a couple of travelers doing researches that I would like to be tomorrow there, and you see already the pictures on Google. So if you are there, you're not really there, because you're planning already the next one where you would like to be. And then you forgot to be there, because you would like to be there and not just, because Google shows you so beautiful edited photos, and then you arrive, okay, that's nice, and let's go tomorrow. So we would like to be there and just see it, and not looking in Google photos, just go there if you would like that. Yeah, I think if you have your daily rhythm, then you have the place and you build your fire rig, because if you have your fire rig, everything is home and settled, and then I think you can leave. Like we were here, I think 4 months ago on this bay, and we found it so beautiful that we decided, and at the back way up to north, we would like to visit it again. But now there are many travelers around the bay, so we were exploring again a new place to camp for this time. In the same coordinates, I mean, just I think a kilometer further up south, and it's again a different view, a different island constellation. It's everything different, but we are on the same place. I think I think it's really nice of this kind of traveling.
Yeah, that's nice. You get, compared to those who maybe go for a quick visit and they just see it with their eyes, as you say, you get to experience it with your eyes and your nose, and the feeling of every day there, not just 1 day. It's, what does it look like for a week or a month?
I think it's also honoring, it's kind of honoring the spot you are on. And if you stay for a little longer than just a day and a night, you become part of the place somehow, because at some point, like after a day or two, the animals come in. So you see the wildlife, the birds, they go like, oh yeah, those guys, we know them, they sit next to you. Then the coyotes come out of the bushes, you get to experience the place as it would be when you're not there.
Yeah.
because you become like a little part of it, just a small one. But there is an advantage of staying longer in one spot, I would say, if it's not a campground, of course.
Yeah, that's fascinating. What are your top 3 then next destinations that you're hoping to explore?
Oh, it's difficult to say because every country we have the top 6 destination to visit. So now that we are going back to the States, we have some national parks that we left out the last time, but now we heard it could be difficult because they have permit, blah, blah, blah. So I would like to visit a couple of national parks in the States back, and then we are heading down to south again. And so we traveled Mexico, I think 8 months, 9 months altogether. But there is still places we didn't visit. So now I would like to say, go there.
Yeah.
And then go to Guatemala and then go there the places we couldn't visit last time. It's getting difficult, but there is still, Mexico is huge. There is really, really something to explore.
For me, it's like one of the places we were like, I don't know, we visited it like 4 or 5 times already. That was volcano Pacaya in Guatemala. Such a beautiful place. You camp at the little lagoon at the foot of the volcano, which is still somehow active. So there's still fumes coming out. And to get there, you have to drive over the lava field. It's completely surreal. So this would be, again, I think, one of the top most places to visit, even if you visited like 5 times already. It's just like always super, super special.
Wow. That does sound amazing.
It is.
Where would you recommend that people visit then on the places that you visited so far?
We read this question before, and exactly that silence we gave it for each other.
So difficult to say. I mean, it depends on the style of travel you have, I guess. So for us, we mostly try to drive off the roads. Like we do not like. Normally, we don't go to campgrounds. We don't go to visit cities or anything.
Only on laundry day.
Right, laundry day. And normally we really try to wild camp, and in order to get there, so it's probably not for every kind of traveler or every style of traveler. But as I said, like one topmost destination, which is scenic beyond comparison, is Volcano Pacaya in Guatemala. This is one of the, at least for me, is one of the topmost places ever visited.
For me, it was also a big hit in El Salvador, in the capital, San Salvador. There is a coffee plantage. And you can drive up to the top of this coffee hill. And there is an abandoned German amusement park. It's not functioning anymore, of course. It's really just ruins and nothing there. But you can still find some German words around, like beer. So the most important is there. And you can camp there with the view around yourself is the city. And the whole city is like humming like birds and bees the whole night. The clouds are rolling up and you are above the clouds. You can just see the lights and the volcanoes, the lake Ilopango. It's such a beautiful place. And you can go there for $5, I think, to camp for the night. And it was a really 4x4 road. But meantime, they last time that we visited, of course, we are there, we should go there. And we visited that. And I think there was a...
But they paved the road. I mean, now it's accessible.
Hey, it's really something, because normally we can't sleep in cities because our surrounding is the street. In this case, we are living outside of the car, not inside the car. But this is the only one, I think, city campground, or it's not even a campground. It's a hill with the beautiful views, and you can camp there with your gear. Awesome. Wow, I was thinking that is also something to visit.
That sounds very unique. A very unique set.
And my other favorite was in Nicaragua. We spoke about yesterday. Forget the name again. It's next to Managua. The capital is volcano crater filled with water. It's exactly next to the city, and you can see the lined up 7 volcanoes from there. And we were dining pizza that night, and the Momotombo is already smoking. Behind you is another crater filled with water, and they lining up all the 7 volcanoes next to each other. Sorry, I forgot the name of it, but I know that it's next to the capital, exactly next. It's already in the city, and there is also no Google road there, no maps.me road leads there. Just your nose, just go up, up. Try somehow go up in the bushes, and you will be fine. And you're landing on this place, and they have running water. They're functioning on the nation, so really chill vibe, totally. But has it that for filters? So not everybody, maybe not it's for everybody because scratches and rocks are sometimes in the way, but maybe it's already better, I don't know. But that was also in Nicaragua for me a really the moment. But maybe it's just because the Momotombo exactly in the smoking, I don't know, it was a vibe.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. You're obviously sitting in front of your vehicle. Maybe you could give an overview of what you're driving, what year it is, any modifications you made.
Sure. So we drive a Land Cruiser 200 from 2011. It's a 4.5 liter V8 diesel. We bought it secondhand from a guy who drove the Trans-Africa and parts of South America with it.
Wow.
So we got it like pre-built already. So he put some drawer system in the back. He has a water tank already inside the car. There is a shower system, like a really simple one with some engine heat exchanger on it. If it's really cold and you were driving, you have some hot water for some time. It's already a nice simple setup was inside the car. So we just basically just could hop in and go. We just did some modifications in the beginning. We put a 270-degree awning on it, so we get a little bit more living space around our car. In bad weather, it's still an advantage to have some coverage around the car. Because he was alone, so he had limited storage space. We are 2 people now, so we had to expand the storage case. So we put a rooftop box on it in order to carry our stuff for the cold weather or colder weather. And so we started our travels just like this, and soon we realized so that there has to be some modifications because we had to adapt the car to our style of travels, right? Because both of us, we never traveled with a car for such an extended time, and so we basically modified the car in each country we visited. There was some modification to the car made. So we started with because we tend to go more on the well, not hard off-road, but like we tend to go off-road with the car and not just the fire roads. So we put bigger wheels on it. With the bigger wheels, we had to change the gear ratios of the car. We put a rear bumper, a very simple one on it, just to protect the car a little bit better from the big rocks we hit sometimes. What else? Better lighting around the car, for the car. So it was also like an experience we had during a night in Guatemala. Well, we might come to this later. It was basically we encountered situations where we realized that our car needs some improvement, and we made the improvement as soon as we realized it has to be done like this. We have also like an extended range fuel tank underneath the car because the car is a little thirsty with a 4.5 liter. So in order to travel longer distances away from civilization, we have 180 liters auxiliary tank under it, which helps a little bit of covering the distance, gasolinera to gasolinera. So I think that's basically it, more or less. I think so.
I like that though, that you made some modifications as you went. Like you can't really prepare for everything, so it's good that you just did it as you went. Similar topic, are there 5 pieces of equipment that you always travel with and would always have on your list?
I think for me, the winch on the car is like, if you travel alone and not in a group, the winch is a lifesaver. I mean, like literally. A good shovel, super important, not just for the daily business out in the outdoors, also to rescue the car. What else?
I think the lights were also
Yeah, the lights, right. we don't use them much, no. But if you need to use them, you need to make sure you have some decent illumination around you while traveling. We normally don't travel by night, not at all. We make it a point to arrive at our spot latest at 4 o'clock. But sometimes, well,
But yeah, these lights are also not for the road, so it's we couldn't drive with this because we're killing everybody else on the road with these lights. It's really about if you are in the jungle or if you would like to go to a safe place and it's pitch dark, then it could help to navigate because it's also on the side, on the back, and you can see where is the car, and where are the slopes down side. So yeah,
3, 4, I would say the Coleman stove, gasoline stove we have.
Gasoline, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we don't travel with those gas bottles, the big ones. And for us, it was like gasoline is everywhere, more or less. And you cannot bake with it, but cooking.
I tried.
Yeah, we did try it.
I tried.
Wasn't that nice? The fumes were not as tasty as we thought. For cooking, which we normally do, is like it's perfect. It's a simple way to, and very mobile as well. So you can move around the car. You don't have to shift gas bottles around and everything. It's like it's pretty handy. What else? A good torch, I would say.
Yeah, lights.
The headlight. There's a headlamp to walk out in the dark.
Yeah.
And the water tank. Sorry for me, the water tank. We have 80 liters, sometimes 70, so we still can't figure out how deep the tank is. But it's flexible. Yeah, the water tank. It's such a big, for me, it's such a big game changer that you can stay in the place for 5 days and not even have the problem to, how sufficient I can drink or what my ratios are. We can drink, we can get a shower, we can be there and not worry about these kind of life-threatening questions. What could we drink then tomorrow? For me, it's also in situation if you get stuck, it's really nice. If you have water for the next 2 days, then you can shovel the car around. We can come to that point later.
It sounds like you have a nice setup, though. You've got a good balance of things that make it comfortable, but also necessity.
I think for us, it's a useful setup. It's not too much bells and whistles. We got rid of some stuff.
Yeah, so we developed it during the travel. We became way too heavy.
We shipped the car with like almost 4 tons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. That was we didn't that. Yeah, that's another thing. You just don't realize how heavy you actually are while traveling. We got rid of many things. We put some things on again, but we also got rid of many things on the car. We just realized you don't really need it. Like, right. And now it's like the basic needs are covered.
That's good. And you wouldn't know unless you went out and used it. Like, it's hard to tell. It's hard to prepare fully until you actually are out. Yeah.
Yeah, you also have to develop. Your needs are also developing, no, I guess.
Yeah. Brilliant. I call this the reflective section. So what inspires you to explore? So we talked about yesterday for a bit about this question, and for us, we left Europe for good, and I think our inspiration is just find a new home, like a new permanent home at some point. Doesn't have to be now or in the next 2 years or 5 years, doesn't matter. But at some point, we will be settling down again, I guess. And this is like our inspiration to travel as much and as intense as we possibly can, I would say. That's fascinating. So you're searching for your home in...
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. That's fascinating. How about you, Mana? Any additional thoughts?
I think that is we are looking for a new home, and then you have also different eyes of the cultures about the surrounding, because you would like to see what does it mean if it's rainy, what does it mean if it's windy, not just okay, that's the place for the night, let's go. You have I think a different kind of eye for everything, because it could be the place. If it's not totally fine, it was a really a good night there, but maybe it is.
I like that. That's very cool. How do you engage with other people?
Which kind of people? We were asking which kind of people, the traveler people or the local people?
I would say both, and I imagine travelers, it's a mixture of either waving as they pass by or maybe on Instagram, social media becomes a great tool for that.
Yeah, we have a little Instagram page that we engage and communicate with others, but we are not really online. So, and for us is also a main goal to get the locals known. So we are not doing campgrounds only on laundry day, sorry, but we try to hang out with the locals. We travel through Central America and we write every town, the community on social media, on Instagram. Maybe there is a 4x4 club. Hey, what's up, guys? What are you doing in the weekends? And maybe we can camp together. And there was also such really, really nice occasions that the group came together just because we were there. So we were not, hey, we are here, come on. So, hey, if you have time. And we had really, really adventurous time with these guys. And then again and again and again. And we realized we are on the road with friends that we know since some months, but I have the best time of my life just shoveling the car because we stuck somewhere again. But no worries, everybody's stuck. Let's shovel it together. And then it's not a pain. I mean, there's no worries because there are other people that they're gonna help you and not just some bad European way. Oh, you're stuck. Okay, you can dig yourself out.
Yeah.
They're coming with a smaller shovel than you have and giving more effort than you for your own car. And so, oh man, thank you so much. Oh, no worries, we are family here. Guys, we have known each other for 2 weeks. Thank you.
I think that was a good way to engage with people, just writing them and just asking for the secret spots.
Yeah.
Or spots they like to share with us when we entered the country. Like this, you come in contact with people who have, or at least like-minded people, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the way to go so far.
I mean, we could put on the map a couple of spots from overlanders that we experience through these communities because normally, or I mean, maybe there are travelers that just hop on of these entries, but we could give more entries for the others that maybe this map can be more colorful and experience other miracles of the Central or the American continent, like the El Salvador, the Little Hell, the Infernio. El Infernio. It's a spot nobody knows about that, only the locals. The bubble water and the sulfur coming from the volcanic mountain surface, and you can camp there, and it's hot, it's bubbling, it's yellow, it everywhere this smoke chimneys, and it's like really a little bit a planet of Riddick, but it's something that you normally you are not going there because you don't know that this place exists. And now we could put it on this online map and everybody can experience it, like the San Salvador German amusement park spot. Everybody knew that there is this is part of
the history.
Yeah, history from them. But for us, it was closed because it's through a coffee finca. It's through from a coffee plantage. So if you're not going there, you don't know. And I really like this side of the traveling, that not just hopping from point to point. We would like to add more points.
Yeah.
To visit for the others. Cheers.
You touched on it a little bit that you are not on social media as much. Today, there's a lot of people who travel and share it online. And I guess the question is, do you feel there's a pressure to share on Facebook and Instagram and things, or do you just do it to share with family? Yeah, interested to know if you feel the pressure to share or if you just want to enjoy your trip without.
I think in the beginning we had that.
Yeah, I would like to be honest about it.
Right? It felt like, everybody has to know.
Yes.
But at some point you just realize it's like, first of all, it's not the right medium. Like the social media you cannot share those things you really experience properly. Most of it is anyway just from a nice angle, from a nice viewpoint, and in reality it looks totally different. And at some point we kind of develop like the change of mind. Now we share things we really like for the people we really like, and if there is an interaction over social media, then it's fine. If not, it's anyway not that real as we thought it was. So I think this pressure is more or less gone.
That's good. Another question would be, why is it important that we embrace global cultures?
I think it gives you a different aspect of your reality you live in, I would say. We are quite narrow-minded, which is normal because you grew up in a certain culture, and this gives you a very specific viewpoint on life and reality, which is totally fine in this environment you grew up in. If you travel, you're a guest in another environment. People had a different upbringing, a different surroundings, different circumstances, and their way of living is a unique angle of their life. And if you travel, I think you can experience this kind of views a little more. Should enrich your life, I guess.
I like that. What are your goals when you explore?
Experience for my own, and not just heard it from second or third hand. So I see and I feel, and I've been there, and I have for us this place, and not just I saw it on Google. For me, it's really important to be here for a day, for less than a whole day. So you arrive afternoon, good night, and then the whole day here on the place. You can see where the sun rises. You can see where it's crossing the sky. You can feel the wind. It's from north. So these kind of small things for me really important. And I can hate it afterwards, of course, but for the moment, it's so nice.
I like that. How about you, Dani?
I would agree to that. It's that's basically it, I guess. Just be there, like at that. Really, just it's an art, I guess, which is pretty hard for me to practice somehow. Is just to. It sounds a little cheesy, but to really just be at the place when you're there, it's not that simple. At least for me, it's not that simple because I've come from from Europe, like in Switzerland, there's constantly something. This kind of traveling we are doing now is extremely slow paced, and there's some adjustment to it, I guess, or some adjustment time to it to really just try to. It's not boring. It's just I don't know. It's slower, right?
We stop multitasking.
Right. That's true.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time, one thing a day. It's like that. This helps. Yeah, but I think that's what she said is pretty point on.
Yeah. Have you had any challenges in your experience traveling?
I think we have two major ones so far. Apart from those little challenges you face, like
a flat tire. Yeah. So
this stuff just happens, which is a huge thing in the beginning, or at some point it's just what it is. But we had like two really intense experiences in all ways. One was in Guatemala, in Sierra de las Minas. We went out with the local guys, and it was just meant to be on a
family drive.
Yeah, it was just a family drive.
Kids, dogs,
everything, like a little 4x4, which turned out to be an absolute
carnage.
Yeah, it was like at the finca, and there was a little ruta around, like in the mountains of this finca, and it turned out because of the rainfalls, the soil, there was this red clay, was really soaked up with water, and it got so slippery. On the way up, everything was fine, then rain came a little bit, and it was just that much needed to make everything like super slippery. And like really, really slippery. You couldn't stand in the slopes. The trails were really steep down. And there we were the night was coming, and we were just sliding down these hill slopes with the car, like in all different, nose up, nose down, like sideways, everything.
Wow.
The car flipped at that time behind us. We made it down somehow.
Like a flipper ball between the two sides of the...
That was really tough. 3 brakes. One, we blew a brake line, so we had only 3 brakes, and that was a really, really tough one, because also like the car flipped, the other one. No?
Yeah.
We had to work to get the car up again until midnight or something.
Yeah, then the rain came again. I'm telling you honestly, the mosquitoes are that different breed. So the mosquitoes, okay. These are not
this size.
I had
huge.
Months later still mosquito scratches
scars
on my back, because of course, for a daily tip, you have your short pants on and the t-shirt. It's just a family ride. And in the middle of the jungle is somehow the midnight for us, for women. We were holding the lights for the guys that they were trying to dig out the other car. And of course, you had the lights, so of course every mosquito were
Wow.
on your way. But then was also for us realized that the light around the car is needed,
That was
because
at that point.
that was the point that we had the normal lights on and we were thinking, yeah, it's enough. And then you are in this kind of deep darkness that it was soaked. I couldn't see our headlight because it was foggy, it was raining, it was jungle. Everything was so disappeared. I mean, the light.
It was a tough one. But also there, like, you could see, like, that what we mentioned before, that, like, that there was a group of people, like, it was, like, I think, like, 12 people or something.
Yeah, we were 7 cars, and
Yeah.
it's important because 3 cars was front of us. We were the 4th, and the 5th behind us skipped. So they were blocking the way for the next 3 cars to come. So
They had to stay overnight.
yeah, they were up for the whole night in the jungle in the rain, and with the feeling, how could we manage it tomorrow if the rain does not stop? So what a night. You are up in the mountains and you don't know how to come down.
And in the morning, the car got on his wheels again at midnight. Then we had to drive down, of course, a little further. And in the morning, it was like a, how do you call it? Like a bobsled, right? Is
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
bobsled?
like, yeah.
Yeah, like
what you sit on and go down the mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the cars just went down. They just
Wow.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was really crazy. That
Was it scary? Were you?
It was scary. I got it. And the car, danger, just sliding through the bobsled. I got it.
That was a really fun. Yeah, because it's your home, right?
Yeah, everything is inside.
Yeah.
So that is all that belonged to us. And we used to have 2 mountain bikes on the back. And I don't know, but for this ride, we said, oh no, we are not needing that. We're going to put that here and please take care of this. It's so lucky that we didn't have it, because at the end we stuck in the bobsled on the side and the bikes should be gone if the bikes would be there. But we ditched it for the day.
I was lucky. Yeah. I was really lucky. Yeah, it was scary as fuck, to be honest. I never lost control of the car before.
Yeah.
You said it's like driving on ice?
Yeah, it's really like driving on ice. As soon as the car just went, and the angle, as I said, like the decline was so steep. It's just like, and it's 3.5, 4 tons. No, it just kept going
in the dark. So
in the dark,
you have the lights.
Yeah. That was an experience.
Yeah.
So we made some changes after that. And
so you mentioned there 2, right? What's the second?
Two
major ones.
Yes.
The other one was on our way up. The one we talked about now, that was on our first visit in Guatemala. I hadn't that much experience 4x4ing, like, really. So that was like, I was pretty inexperienced then as well. And on our way up now, shortly before we entered the United States, I saw on Wikilog, I saw a trip, like a little route, a little trail, which was supposed to be medium difficulty and takes about 6 hours to go. And we thought, like, oh, that's fine. Let's do this before we enter the United States and have some fun in Mexico. No, the last time. It turned out that the trail wasn't ridden since 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just, how many kilometers? Like 16 kilometers. It took us 5 days.
My word.
Yeah, it took us 5 days because there was no road anymore. It turned out it was an ancient Aztec trail, because you could see sometimes those big cobblestone roads, which were ancient, like really old. And there was just parts that were there. And at some parts, just there was nothing. There was just a hill slope or just a steep incline over rock faces. There was just nothing. You could guess in which direction to go, and we had to dig. We had to build bridges. We had to fell trees. And we were stuck because we couldn't go back at a certain point because it was just too difficult. And we always hoped that it can't be any worse, right? The next day. And so we kept going, and it got worse and worse and worse. And somehow we had some pretty hairy moments there.
I mean, realize if we are saying build bridges, we are speaking about 4 tons.
Yeah.
So it's not about you build the bridge for your feet to going over the place. This one should move through a gap that should be there because the hill slided somehow for 2 years ago, and of course nobody's riding these trails, so, or maybe with horses, and we have this everything inside the car, and we should do, however, to get to the other side. So we were feeling how deep, 100 meter or I don't know. It was a deep slide afterwards, and you're feeling it with stones, and we learned there, every stone you flip, first look at under it, because there's a lot of scorpions. Just you're European stone. No, just flip it. Oh, you're living there. Sorry. Next one. However, really build up the bridge and should hold the whole car with everything inside of it. And he was driving, I was crying. So there was also teamwork on it. So, and this for 6 days, the mental stress that you are sleeping somewhere. Hey, I'm telling you honestly, beautiful places. So this is the reason why we are doing overlanding, to get to these places. Nobody were there. Nobody touched it since 4 years.
Fantastic campsites, really fantastic.
And it was so calming for the night. But the morning, you're sitting there with your coffee and just watching the road. What's gonna happen today? And your finger was all the taped from the scratches, and
we had some scars after it.
Wow.
We have a shovel, we had a winch, we had the max track, and however, he had the genius idea before this trip. Hey, in the trooper, there's how to say it?
So.
Was it the trooper? It's So I just buy in the Home Depot a saw.
Like a little one, I just wanted to see. We had another one, a bigger one, but this was pretty dull. We didn't get any spare blades in Mexico, and I thought, like, well, okay, let's go to the local hardware store and just get a small saw to see how the quality is. And this saw just made such a difference. Actually, this little saw helped us through this thing, because like it cut trees this size.
Wow.
But it really held up pretty well. It was like $5 or something.
Didn't cut any live tree.
No,
everything was dead, falling apart, or already in the way. And you, however, managed all the time.
Yeah, we said, like, we cannot. We're not the trees here before us. We're just the guests, right? There's no need to. Yeah. If there's a way around, we find a way around. But I think the most important experience on this trail was that we saw that we both could work together and functioning together in such a stressful environment and keep up we never fought, right? We never had a fight during this time. Never ever have this. There was tension, but not between us. The tension was because of the situation, right? Yeah. But there was also this productivity, this positivity, holding each other up. Whenever I couldn't, there was one point I was like, I can't see the way up here. I just don't see the trail. I don't see my line to drive. I don't know how to go up this rock face. And
we are speaking about really rock face. Yeah, there were 2 boulders, and he was trying to drive up the 2 boulders between 2 meters down. However, not just flipping. So it really, if I say no road, there is really no real placement. Maybe for a horse, but that's it. And a really, really small horse. So,
but at that time she was like, no, we can manage, we can do it. I spot you, you drive. I say, that was like this perfect, how do you say, like this balance, no? Yeah. And that was that was the best experience in this whole during this whole time, actually, for us.
That's interesting you say that was the best experience, considering what happened. Did you have a sense of, did you cheer at the end when you finally realized you had made it?
I think we were so tired.
We had 3 times we had this fake
placebo.
Fake accomplishment, no? Because we were like, it opened up. There was a road, there was a hill. You saw some kind of structure in the distance, and you thought like, now this is it. And then you came up this hill, and then we were like, fuck, I'm sorry, this isn't it. It was like, damn it. And then you could see like there's another hill, like another valley in between. You had to cross somehow with no roads and nothing. We had like 3 times, no. And at the end, there was a lake, an artificial lake. You could see there is a little finca, like a ranch, and there we saw people the first time. Like
6 days.
6 days.
Wow.
We saw people, and there we knew, like, okay, now from now on, this is it. And there was, I think we didn't cheer. It was just this feeling,
Yeah.
a little relief was there. You know, now it's done finally. Oh, wasn't
It's incredible.
And then really, if you have 6 days and you're counting with 6 hours to drive, your resources are also not so endless. So
Yeah.
I think for the 5 day, he was in a river and trying to pump and clean water for us to drink, because somehow also, really, I'm telling you, 8 hours per day shoveling and cutting trees, you make you thirsty and hungry. And the mental stress that you are handling was a toughy one. And he was trying to clean the water that we could 20 liters to have for the next day, because we don't know when the next river gonna be. So it was not just about, oh, I don't know what gonna happen today and which kind of tree I should fall. It was also, gonna our reserve reach to the end, or we gonna die, or what's gonna happen? Okay, not so dramatically, but I could be sometimes so dramatic. I gonna die, you know. Yeah, I had once at the bridge, because we built this bridge and I saw the car is sliding. For me, was so mentally that was the point that I put the winch on the trees for secure the car, and the boulder rolled and hit on my shin. And that was for me the moment. And just cry, because I don't know why it wasn't hurting that much, but everything was just crying. And he came, everything is all right. He was also, but I should be, yes. And he managed through on this gap. But for me, because I was walking and spotting the car, he was inside the car and driving. I saw that the car's moving down the 100 meters slope, and just drive. I was yelling, drive. And he was driving. Just, of course, it's not so funny if I put it on a YouTube video, or it's not so real, because in this case, in this situation, if it's life-threatening, and for me was that life-threatening because the car could be sliding down and rolling over, I couldn't make a video of it. And it's so, how can you make it a video? Then it's about your life and your belonging and everything. We don't have much, just this. For me, I was so in the moment, I couldn't concentrate about putting on any kind of social media. And then is also a point why we fall, or we are not successful on Instagram and YouTube, because we are so in the moment. Oh, that could be a nice picture. That went okay.
Yeah. I mean, it would make, if you had a camera following you, it would make an impressive episode. But as you say, like in the moment, you're not thinking, oh, we should get the camera out to film this. You're stressed because you want to make it through the situation.
And
Yeah.
this was also not the situation that you're going with the camera there, just putting there and driving back and doing again, like the first time. No, it's once enough. And then was also the point we realized we can go back. So that was the day 2, I think, on this trail, that we realized that I don't know what's before us, front of us, but we can go. Yeah, and every day 2 kilometers with 8-hour work. Just somehow dig the car through.
That's amazing.
I would like to add it. This is not a normal one, and this is also not made from the cushions. So we are training. We are going in the gym. We have here for ourselves a small rubber bands, just for equipment to work out. Because if we didn't have the strength, we couldn't make it. Really, just mentally, it's draining for your energy so much that it's done. You're in 6 days and you're done in the second. What you gonna do in 4 days? You can't lie around because your resources are going empty. So it's not just, hey, I would like to drive there, let's go. We are, I think I can say we are fit, not just mentally, also body-wise, because otherwise we couldn't do that. We couldn't lift so many rocks. It's not just rolling the rocks. It's lifting the rocks, cutting the trees, sowing the trees, and you do it an hour and you're done. We had 6 days. It's for, okay, not just here. You should be always fit not just fit in the mind, fit in the body as well.
Incredible. I guess if we step away from that situation, how has exploration changed you since you decided to go off traveling?
Yeah, I think we touched on that before, that we became slower in our pace. I think that was this we realized the first time her parents came to visit us in Mexico, and that was just 3 months in.
Only 3 months.
Yeah, it was nothing, and it was we met. So they had this all-inclusive resort booked for them, and we also got a room there. That was awesome. After 3 months of living on the beach, it was quite a treat, and it was also very different lifestyle in a resort. And whenever we walked somewhere, like say from the rooms to the dining area or something, we just realized that her parents, they were so fast. They were like, that they were gone, no? And we were like, okay, now we have to run, no? And there we realized how our pace became so much slower than we used to have it. Like normally you walk fast because you have to be somewhere, no? And then we just realized that, well, we walk slower in order to see everything around us better. And that was just like a very natural, because you don't have to be somewhere. It's totally fine to be here, and it's totally fine to take your time and to recognize your surroundings a little more. That was the biggest change, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, my days are filled with this meeting, that meeting, and you go hoping for lunchtime and then you're waiting for 5 o'clock. But yeah, I'm jealous of that sort of just take it easy, take the time. And you've shown that in your travel, the way that you've decided to get that rhythm.
Individual thing as well. No, it's like that might be totally different for somebody else, but it's like that. But I think it's healthy as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's a little slower pace.
Yeah. So as you may know, Explore More has a mantra, which is explore more of the world, engage with others, and embrace global cultures. When you hear those words, what does that make you think of? Or what does that mean to you?
With listen to the coach.
Yeah, right. I would say helps you to get a broader perspective in your own life. And while doing so, while traveling, while exploring, while engaging with other people from other cultures, it's not only you to get enriched, you also enrich the other people, of course, you come in contact with, right? If you do it in a humble state of mind, I would say. So if you leave your entitlements at home and are ready to get also something, like to realize that you don't know everything and you're not the top of the food chain and of the evolution, I think you allow yourself and others to be enriched by each other.
How about you, Mana?
We spoke about this yesterday and we were pretty on the same opinion about that. Just listen what the others has to say, because if you're putting everywhere your nation, your attitude, your ego, you can't hear what the nature, the locals, the birds has to say. You're not listening. And why you are traveling if you're not there for these? Is it not because you would like to see what's happening on the other side of the world? Then why you're bringing your ego here and putting your blasters outside of your camp and everybody should listen your music? I think then you're traveling for the locals, traveling for the salty air, traveling for the view, because of course you could have also salty air in England, but it's not the same. If you're not like that, then stay there and don't travel. But if you would like to experiment something new, then listen.
I like that. What advice would you give to others who are thinking about seeking life-changing adventure?
Just do it. Just do it.
You don't need much.
Don't look for excuses. Why not? I bought a new couch. I can't go traveling. I have a new nail polish. I can't leave. The human mind is crazy. How many excuses can we make just something not to do because it's so comfortable? Or maybe you think it's comfortable because you know this, but maybe it could be also comfortable. And I think it's also really important that you don't need that much of the gears that some bigger companies would like to sell you. So you can't be an overlander if you're not using this, and you are in trillions of pounds and in euros, and I can't afford this. Because we know people that they are riding at a Fiat Panda with a rooftop tent, and the rooftop tent is already a fancy, so you can get also a ground tent. And he's traveling through the whole continent. I think he's already in the backward road. I don't know.
I think he's in Chile now.
In Chile, and he has a Fiat Panda.
Americano, no problem. We people with 30, 40 year old Chevy vans with just a mattress inside. The style of travel doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just not important.
Of course, you're at home and you're seeing an advertisement about that and these. You should need that off-road vehicle to get that. No, you don't. You should need yourself and your imagination to get that. How to get that? Maybe this kind of vehicles making yourself easy, but it's not about that, because a lighter car could be through the sand, but the heavier car could be stuck. So why you're buying the heavier one?
Cool.
That's great advice. Great. Okay. Well, how can people continue to, if they want to follow your adventures, to get more inspiration from you?
We have the Instagram. Our Instagram is Soul Dope Overlanding. Feel free to drop in to contact us. We post mainly some stories about where we are, and that would be the main thing to reach us. I have a little travel diary on Polo Steps, which is just me writing down my thoughts about the days I spent, where and how. If you're more into reading, then that would be another thing. It's also on the Instagram page too.
That's fascinating. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on everything. I've been really inspired by your story, and I will bid you farewell and enjoy continuing on your rhythm to find your final home.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for watching the show. If you want to share feedback, please hit the comments below or head over to explmore.com/feedback for more information. If you want to see more interviews and other content, then please hit the subscribe button. Cheers.